Hi guys, Dan the Wolfman here, and today I want to talk about carrying for your threat level for your threat assessment. Why sometimes I am now comfortable carrying a revolver. Sometimes I'm comfortable carrying a revolver. Sometimes I'm comfortable carrying a thin, lightweight Micro 9 like the Shield Plus or RX Delta, something similar to that. And why, if I'm expecting that there could be a slightly higher probability of trouble, or it's someplace that could attract unwanted attention, like a mall or a movie theater, I carry this. So I want to talk about why other people's choices might be okay, and why, if you're an experienced shooter that trains all the time with different pistols, you might be okay mixing up different things. Well, you say this is a heavy double action trigger, these are later striker fired. Okay, DASA, I can shoot that well too. It doesn't really matter. I can perform pretty well instinctively because I train enough with whatever happens to be in my hand. To the largest extent, an outcome actually requiring firing is going to be more the Indian than the arrow. Now, the arrow could be important, but I now live in a nicer, less threat area, and I'm older, and I don't go out at nighttime. And that's why this Rossi RP63, especially now that I modded it, got a night sight and everything else with 3-inch 357 Magnum Ballistics, I feel this is a 2 to 3 bad guy gun. I'm going to make my hits. Way higher percentage, I believe, than your typical civilian or your typical cop. But I only carry a revolver. I'm only comfortable carrying a revolver because no matter what I'm carrying, I'm always carrying this Micro 9 backup. So I got sufficient capacity to back it up. Now, it's probably going to take me about 2 seconds. If I fired all 6 and bad guys were still engaged, I'm going to move offline, get to cover, push family or friends out of the way, and about 2 seconds drawn with my offhand, getting the backup gun into play. And this is why I am now comfortable carrying this during the daytime, even though it's got a night sight, during the daytime to lower threat areas. If I expect a little bit higher threat area, and most people may be comfortable just selecting something like the Shield Plus. I shoot this very, very well. If you look at my 9 versus 40 versus 45 Smith & Wesson battle, first time doing Gabe White standards, I shot this extremely well, and I shot this pretty darn good. I can perform with this, even though it's a Micro 9, compared to other people with full-size, heavier pistols, because I have good recoil control. You can make rapid, accurate shots. That gives me a lot of faith in this. I don't have a lot of faith, ballistically speaking, in a short-barreled 9mm. Even though it's got the best 124 plus P hollow points in it, I don't have the faith that a short-barreled 9mm will have a more immediate stopping threat through both energy and expansion and tissue crush as this 40 caliber will, or immediate psychological stopping and tissue damage in the first 5-6 inches of the wound that a 357 Magnum with hot ammo. And I can control it even in this, like 26 ounce, I think 27 ounce, 26 ounce, 26 and a half ounce revolver, 21, 22 ounce pistol. I think it's like 28, 26, 27, 28 loaded 35 ounces. So this is heavier for sure. If I'm going out at nighttime where I might travel far, where I might be traveling past where, car could break down in the city, more like the inner city type of areas, or if I'm going down there to eat dinner or something like that, I'm going to probably have this or something similar on me. I have a lot more faith in the balance of capacity and stopping power of a good 40 caliber hollow point that's going to expand even bigger. And yes, that's going to absolutely do more tissue crush and cause faster blood loss, which causes faster diastolic pressure loss, which causes bad guys to get woozy, shoot worse, and hopefully fall down a lot quicker than even this 9mm. If you think 9mm is good enough, that's fine. On duty, I carry 9mm, but that's 4.5-inch barreled polygonal on duty with plus P plus hotness and a heavier pistol that can control plus P plus really good stuff. That makes it pretty similar to the 3-inch 357 Magnum. I think someone with a shot of this to the upper thoracic cavity is going to stop faster than a shot with this. A shot with this, these two, faster than this. Is this enough for most people? Probably in a defensive gun use if you're good enough. And no matter what, either I'm carrying this, I still have my offside backup. Look at my 9 reasons to carry a backup gun. Now, I am an armed guard, and I take things a little more seriously, and I've had to defensively display or put my hand on my pistol a lot of times, especially when I lived in another state in a different city. Even the one around me, though, if I'm going like a downtown area, I got something like this. So, as the guy that lives out the boondocks in a safer state that's not controlled by the D's with way less crime rate, okay with something like this? Yeah, probably. Is a 5-shot J-frame ever enough for me? No, I don't think it will ever. Well, I always want at least 6 shots, and 6 shots 357 with a 3-inch barrel make me feel a lot better than 5 or 6 shots of 38 from a 2-inch barrel because of the terminal ballistics and the shootability as well. I shoot this really well. If you look at my first range review with it in the upcoming video, 357 Magnum versus 45 part 3. I mean, I shoot this really well. It's a very good natural pointer for me. And no matter what kind of rapid stuff I do, I can make good hits. I can make great rapid fire hits. Surprisingly, you think 40 snaps too much. The first time I ever did Gabe White's standards, this passed 7 out of 8. You only got to pass 4, a dark pin pass. And this passed 4 out of 8. So it would have gotten me a dark pin. But 2 of them were extremely close, and now I've gotten better at the drills. I'm sure that one day I'll do that, and I'll see how much better I can do with this. So I used to say, man, you better carry something heavier. And other things to consider are any of the other Micro 9s, but if you want longer barrel, believe a little bit better ballistics, the RX Delta's just as thin. It's the same as the Shield 4-inch, but with a little bit more capacity. Highly slept on, good, and budget, even though they're not budget made. I borrowed the RX Deltas before if you're wanting to get thicker, but a DASA, I highly recommend HKP 2000. I just got that out for a second time. Did a part 2 DASA is light enough for carry, borrowed the pistols to do a part 2 to give the CZP-01. Now my buddy got it fixed, a fair chance against the HKP 2000. A P2000 or this or RX Delta make me feel, pretty good in 9mm. And some days I feel like I want even more. If I'm going to a mall or a theater, I probably have this. India, not the Arrow, both have night sights now. Would I feel comfortable? I feel comfortable. The capacity is an issue for me. But if I had to fire 6 at a active bad guy, let's call it an active bad guy, because it doesn't matter what they have. They could be in a vehicle. We've seen that many times, or an active knifer. We've seen that all around the world. But I got the Micro to do, as my backup. I can draw that Micro and get a shot off in about 2 seconds. So I'm ready to continue my rate of fire, even if I had to drop this, or even if at closer range, I fired this from my offhand. Either way. But, you should carry based on your threat assessment. Now, most people, is this enough? Yeah. But when I was in Atlanta and I had 5 guys hopping out of the car to carjack me, I actually was carrying a 7-shot 357. That made me worry about capacity. Okay. That's probably would have been enough to drive them off if you have awareness, and I would have gotten shots off quickly as they were hopping out. But I threw my hand on it, threw my coat open, and they saw and drove off, luckily. But that made me worry about capacity. But do I worry about it in a low-threat environment? I worry about it, but I got the backup gun to consider it. And it could be a backup revolver, Jim Cirillo, New York Reload style. So for most people, is something like this okay? Probably, right? Have a gun and have enough rounds to make some hits because most people are going to miss. If you're higher trained, can you see guys that have trained forever and suddenly they're like okay with this? And you say, no, man, you're going to die. No, he can do a lot better with this than you can with your Block 19 and extendos, okay? Like, hits and time matter. How fast you can make quick, accurate upper thoracic and headshots to a T-box. That's what matters. So carry what you want, but train accordingly. And the lower end of the spectrum is maybe if you are highly skilled. And can you go higher caliber, 40, 45, 10 millimeter? If you have good recoil, you can do things like split bill drills and fast tests and stuff. You can perform fairly well in things like that, Mozambiques, failure drills, immediate capacitation drills, stuff like that, if you can actually move and shoot. So I guess that's why I'm now okay carrying this, is I live in a lesser threat area, and if I'm going somewhere lesser threat, just like a restaurant in the daytime, I'm okay with that because I carry the backup. Higher threat. So carry based on your threat. Maybe keep all the same type. If you're like a newer shooter, I get that. All strikers or all DASA or all revolvers or whatever. I can mix it up and I'm going to instinctively know what to do. The only thing that makes me question is maybe a 1911 having to sweep off that safety because that's not my muscle memory. When I get older, I might just carry a 1911 lightweight commander and be really happy with the accurate quick hits I can make and 45 by God AARP. And anyway, guys, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Hopefully this caliber capacity gives you something to think about and just carrying for your needs. What is your threat level? What is your threat that you may more likely face? And if you're in the inner city, capacity, I'm going to want more capacity. And that does really kind of depend on where you live and what your lifestyle is. So thumbs up, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Caliber, capacity, revolver versus auto. Is someone crazy if they feel comfortable carrying a revolver? Look at how well I perform with this in the unboxing. Not the unboxing, but the original Rage review. And then once I had some mods done and how well it performs in 357 versus 45 part 2. Look how well these compare against each other in the 9 versus 40 versus 45 Gabe White fair caliber debate, caliber battle. And also in the realistic training RU video. This is where he's performed well for me. Anyway, guys, hope that gives you something to think about. Take care, and I'll catch you on the flip side.